Hello viewer, my name's Don. Thanks for joining me on this quick tour to the Auschwitz prisoner of war and extermination camp. It was a truly saddening and harrowing visit, although I was only there for 4 hours. Sculpture gives a clue as to the theme. Auschwitz, located outside of Krakow in Poland, is situated almost centrally in Europe. Because it was located so centrally, the Nazis chose the location as a point for setting up their concentration camp, because it was almost equal distance from most of the Jewish centers of population. This 1944 photograph taken by the Allies illustrates the camp at that time. Birkenau, a camp which was 100 times bigger, is at the bottom or southern end. The gas chambers are near the top on the left. The main barracks are also at the top. This photo may be of the neighboring Birkenau camp, which is a lot bigger than the very small pilot project called Auschwitz I. This map shows Auschwitz. The relative size of the two camps is presented here. Auschwitz is like a postage stamp compared to the megalith that was Birkenau. The camp, dating back I think almost to the First World War, was a Polish army camp at one time, and the buildings are of brick and don't look all that bad. This sign tells us that the Nazis took over the camp from the Polish army in 1940. Photos taken of the camp during the Second World War are pretty well identical to photographs today. Very little has changed. Let's have a look and see, comparing these photos with more modern ones. This gate says "Work will set you free" and was the main entrance. It's very ironical. Here's the gate when I visited, and not much is different. A quick view of some of the buildings used for accommodation, and now housing the museum. These electric fences are really frightening and carried high voltage that would kill you instantly. I'm in a wheelchair and it wants it easy getting into the buildings. There's no ramp. Once inside though, there's large photographs that illustrate how the camp was run. The prisoners arrived on board train and were unloaded here. This photo is horrendous and I won't comment. The Nazis made a concerted effort to conceal the concentration camp at the end of the war by totally destroying most of the crematoriums. Only one apparently has survived. Much of the huge Birkenau camp was erased. In some of the displays there were the remains left over from the operation and the possessions of Jews who had been killed at the camp. It was horrifying. These Cyclone B cans are sickening in the numbers that have survived. These are shoes that have been taken from the dead. Glasses or spectacles taken from people who had been mercilessly killed. It's also horrible. This wall was a place where some Jewish prisoners were shot by the Nazi guards. This illustrates the beds where they would crowd in many bodies, maybe 3 or 4 people sleeping together. The torture and heinous crimes committed here are presented somewhat tastefully by little sketches. These sketches are not quite as mind-blowing and terrible as the real photographs, which I really couldn't bear to look at. This, for instance, is truly awful, and I won't show any more. The last part of this gut-wrenching tour was the crematorium. A sign notes that this building was where the SS murdered thousands. Please maintain silence, remember their suffering, and respect their memory. Cans of Cyclone B, as in the previous photograph, were dropped through this tiny hatch in the roof. This room was made up to look like a shower until the cans were dropped in. A 1940s photo of the same room. The dead were removed and cremated in these ovens.